Sir, it's Senator Mayer. He's dead.
Are you telling me that Jack Bauer just killed a United States senator? How could you have let this happen?
Mr. Caney, you are not going to lay this one at my feet.
What is it, Ethan? What's wrong?
Madam President, I'm afraid I have no choice but to resign as your chief of staff.
You're taking this too far. Where's Jack?
We don't have him.
The man who framed Jack for Burnett's murder was John Quinn, a Starkwood contractor. Jack went to Mayer to get the evidence to prove it.
Starkwood was involved with everything that's happened today. They were the ones that helped Hume and his men bring down those planes and attack the White House. In exchange, they were allowed to develop and manufacture a WMD in Sangala. The text message I got off their agent's cell phone said Port of Alexandria, Lot C, 10:15 p.m. Go red, go red! Engage, engage! I'm going after it! Cover me now! I'm in possession of a biological weapon interdicted at the Port of Alexandria.
What's your status? Package is secure. We're inbound.
What about Bauer?
He's at the scene, sir, but he sought cover nearby.
We have to assume that he contacted the authorities, so we better be on an accelerated timetable. Get over here.
Starkwood reacquired the bioweapon. They airlifted the freight right out of here. They were headed due west from my current position.
Jack, I can't assault a private compound unless I have proof that a weapon exists.
Okay, where's the CDC?
They're scrambling the team right now.
Send them to me. You'll have all the proof you need.
Jack, what happened?
I was exposed.
The following takes place between 11 p.m. and 12 a.m.
We're ready for you, sir. Come with me.
Mr. Bauer, Dr. Maester, CDC. We need you to get undressed.
You're the one that talks to Agent Moss.
He brought me up to speed. Said you had some information about the bioweapon.
All I know is that it was developed in Sangala. And according to rumors from the village that it was tested on, all the victims suffered from dementia and paralysis.
Check neurological vectors and pathogens. How much was released?
Not exactly sure. The weapon was stored in a pressurized canister. It was breached for maybe 2 minutes before I could seal it off. This is not a reaction. I've had these scars.
This is a full-spectrum antibiotic. It should counteract a wide range of known pathogens.
Step inside, sir. Raise your arms, close your eyes.
Janice, where are we?
Metro closed down a 6-mile stretch of Highway 236. The CDC first responders are on site. What the hell's going on?
One of the bioweapon canisters was breached. Jack may have been exposed.
Oh my God.
Starkwood took the canisters. They're probably flying it back to their main compound in Virginia, along with Tony Almeida.
Almeida?
Yeah, he was working with Jack. We think he might have been taken captive. Hang on one second. I need you to put together a briefing packet on Starkwood. I want every division caught up to speed on what we might be dealing with.
Planning to move on Starkwood? That place is enormous. It's practically a military base.
No, we're not going to do anything until we have concrete evidence on the bioweapon from CDC. Then I'll inform the president. She'll decide how to proceed.
Almeida's not good to talk. He's not the type. He's the brave type. Know the psychology of your subject. It's in our manual. Here we go.
Mr. Hodges, we isolated the damaged canister.
We got lucky.
I know we have the weapons. That's not so lucky. How fast can you have them ready?
It's gonna take me at least 2 hours.
Too long, Tom.
So we don't know what the government knows.
They're coming. And they'll be coming with everything they've got. And the only thing that's going to stop them is getting these weapons ready to deploy.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best.
I know you will.
Okay, let's go!
What does the FBI know? Not gonna ask you again.
Okay? You're a good man, Tony. I know your profile. You've had some heartbreaks. And worse the art. So you just tell me what the FBI knows about what we're doing here. And I can't say you'll walk away smiling. That would be unrealistic. But you'll be alive. You hear me?
But I don't know anything. Mr. Hodges.
I'm giving you a way out, Tony.
Sir, may I speak to you for a moment?
Not now, Greg.
Please, sir, just for a moment.
What is it?
This was supposed to be a covert operation. That is not the case anymore. The government knows that we have these weapons, and they're not just going to sit on that information.
What are you suggesting, Greg?
Maybe I should destroy the evidence while we still have some time.
I can't believe that I'm hearing this from you.
I'm just trying to help, sir. I care about this company as much as you do.
Oh, I doubt that. We've invested a lot of blood and treasure to get these weapons, and I'm not going to give them up.
Think about what you're risking, sir. Everything. Everything you built.
You say you're trying to help. You know what I think? I think you're worried about your own ass. Get him out of here and do what you have to do. Think about what I said, young man. You're a little nervous, Greg. Well, I've got a news flash. We're all nervous. Keep your doubts to yourself. I'm not going to tell you again.
We're gonna need to take more blood and saliva samples, and I'd like to collect a spinal fluid specimen. Until we know what we're dealing with, we need to keep you under quarantine.
How long is it gonna be till you know whether or not I've been infected?
We should have the preliminary results in the next 15 minutes.
Dr. Macer?
Yeah.
We detected trace amounts of an airborne pathogen. It's concentrated near the truck. We're also picking up in the surrounding environments at much lower concentrations.
Can you identify it?
No, but we're analyzing a sample now.
These levels shouldn't present any danger to the nearby population, but I still want atmospheric monitor set up. It's a good thing you sealed off the canister, Mr. Bauer. You saved a lot of lives.
You're gonna have to transport me back to FBI. I'm still material evidence of an ongoing terrorist threat.
Those were our orders. We can run our tests from there.
Bob Justman's been associate counsel for the past 3 years. He and Ethan worked very closely together.
He's certainly qualified to be chief of staff.
But
After what's happened today, I think you should be looking outside your administration.
an insider has a leg up. Chief of staff has a steep learning curve.
I think you're underestimating the value of a fresh perspective.
You have someone in mind.
I do. Rick Berman.
Would Rick even consider leaving the private sector?
Well, he's made his fortune. I think he'd jump at the chance to serve his country.
Let's sit down with him.
Great.
But keep Bob on the list. I still have a good feeling about him.
I'll start to set up meetings tomorrow.
Livy, it could take weeks to find Ethan's replacement. In the meantime, I'm going to need a provisional chief of staff. I'd like that to be you.
Madam President,
Yes?
Tim Woods is here to see you.
Just give me a minute, please, and then send him in.
Yes, ma'am.
Livy, I need someone I can trust, especially after everything that's happened today. You're not going to say no to your mother, are you?
Of course not.
Good.
Madam President, I have Larry Morse at FBI calling for you.
What's this about?
I don't know the specifics, but he says it involves an imminent homeland threat.
Put him through. It's all right, Tim. I've made Olivia acting chief of staff.
Agent Morse, you're on with the President.
Madam President, we have a situation developing. First of all, you need to know that Jack Bauer did not kill Ryan Burnett nor Senator Blaine Mayer. He was framed for their murders.
I knew it. Who framed him?
Our operational theory is that he was set up by Starkwood.
I don't understand. Why would Starkwood frame Jack?
To cover up the fact that they helped Juma stage the terrorist attacks today.
What?
Ma'am, we have evidence that Starkwood provided Juma with technological support and intelligence. In return, Juma allowed Starkwood to use Sangala as a base to operate without having to worry about any oversight.
A base for what?
To manufacture weapons of mass destruction. Specifically, biological weapons.
What kind of bioweapons are you talking about?
We're not sure, but it could be some kind of neurological pathogen. CDC has obtained a sample. They're analyzing it now.
Agent Morse, you said there was an imminent threat?
Yes, a large shipment of bioweapons was delivered to Starkwood. We believe they're in possession of them now.
Are you saying these weapons are on U.S. soil?
We suspect they're at the Starkwood headquarters in Virginia.
And you're not suggesting that Starkwood intends to use those weapons to attack this country?
We don't know, but given their actions today, we need to move on Starkwood immediately.
Madam President?
Assemble the cabinet and the Joint Chiefs.
Yes, ma'am.
Jack was right about Starkwood.
You found evidence that they've been supporting Juma?
Yeah.
Did you find out why? I mean, what could Starkwood possibly get from Juma?
The infrastructure to develop and test biological weapons. We think they're holding them somewhere on the Starkwood compound.
Okay, where's Jack?
He's on his way over here.
What, Larry? Larry?
He managed to secure the weapons, but then, Starkwood got him back. And when that happened, Jack was exposed. He may have been infected. He's being placed under quarantine. Listen, he's on his way here, and we need to find out everything that he learned about these weapons, and I think you should be the one who debriefs him. And I owe you an apology. I was wrong not to trust you. I let my prejudice about power get in the way. But Renee, you should have kept me in the loop. You should have trusted me.
When are we moving on Starkwood? Aaron! Check on you guys later, okay? Thank you. May I speak with you for a moment?
Of course.
I heard you finished your debrief and we're on your way out.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I need you to stay.
Ma'am?
I've been appointed acting chief of staff. The Secret Service is going to assign an agent to handle my security detail. I'd like that to be you.
Well, I'm truly flattered, ma'am, but as you know, I'm retired.
I can have you reinstated.
There are plenty of fine agents on the roster.
But I don't want them. I want you. I can't go into the details now, but the threat to this country isn't over. We're in the middle of a crisis, and I need people around me I can trust. I trust you, Aaron. I can't say that about a lot of people. I'm running into a meeting with the president. I'll assume your answer is yes.
Gentlemen, ladies, please take your seats.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, those of you who haven't had a chance to finish your briefing packets, please keep reading. As we've all just learned, This day is not over. Our national security is still being threatened. And we are here to consider our options. Mr. Woods.
Your briefing materials include FBI intelligence about a cache of biological weapons on Starkwood's main compound in Northern Virginia. This is a recent satellite view of the compound. Over 3 square miles, 259 structures. The weapons could be hidden anywhere on the facility.
What kind of bioweapons are we talking about?
This is Ben Landry. He's director of CDC. He's here to answer any questions you may have in regards to the pathogen. Ben?
I've just received a preliminary report from our agents in the field. They've identified the pathogen as a prion variant indigenous to the East Congo. It's a form of Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. It attacks the brain and the nervous system. Causes dementia, physical deterioration, ultimately death. A standard CJD kills within several months, but this strain kills more quickly.
How long?
A day, maybe 2. There's no treatment for this disease. There's no cure. If dispersed over a populated area, the results would be catastrophic.
But it goes without saying, we cannot allow a private military force, these killers, to possess weapons of mass destruction. We need to find these weapons and arrest those bastards in Starkwood who are responsible for bringing them here.
Madam President, given the size of the compound, it would take a considerable force to locate these weapons. Not to mention the fact there are 1,500 highly trained mercenaries on that base. God forbid they decide to resist. We could have a small war in our own backyard.
I share those concerns, Madam President. We also have to consider the possibility that Starkwood might use these biological weapons against our own forces.
What about an airstrike?
A facility that large would require multiple bombing runs. We'd be looking at massive casualties on the Starkwood base with no guarantee of destroying the bioweapons. For all we know, they've been buried underground or in fortified facilities. There's also a risk that hitting these weapons with insufficient force could release the bioagent into the atmosphere.
We can't just ignore the law here. All these scenarios would be in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. I mean, we can't deploy military personnel in a law enforcement capacity. Not without congressional approval.
And what I'm hearing is that there are no good options. I don't accept that. Until we find a way to contain this threat, we are risking another attack on this country. And that is an option I won't consider.
Mr. Hodges wants to know if you've given any thought to his offer. Why this loyalty to a government that screwed you over? I don't get it. Just tell us what the FBI knows and you can walk. For the record, I bet Mr. Hodges a pair of Redskin tickets you wouldn't talk. Looks like I'm gonna be sitting on the 50-yard line. Hey. Hey, what the hell's going on? I need your help. My help? We need to stop this gone too far. I'm not going anywhere until you tell me why you're doing this. I'm not spending the rest of my life in prison because Jonas Hodges has lost his mind. You know where the weapons are? Yes. Then you better tell me right now. I want immunity. Look, I can't promise you anything. We can call the FBI and negotiate a deal. Immunity in exchange for your help in recovering the weapons. That's the best I can do. I can set up a secure landline in my office. Okay, let's go.
Pulling up to FBI. We have to put you in an isolation suit to transfer you to the quarantine area.
I understand.
How are you feeling?
No different.
Where are the results of Mr. Bauer's blood work?
Thank you.
Thank you.
me. Larry wanted me to tell you that CDC arrived with Jack Bauer. I made them down in quarantine. He's not in quarantine. I don't understand.
That's all I know. They just cleared security. He's on his way up.
Jack, are you okay?
My blood work came back positive. I'm infected.
Mr. Bauer, there's room for you to change in.
Thank you. It's fine.
But he's not in quarantine. We've learned the disease isn't contagious. It was engineered that way to prevent blowback on the people deploying it. Okay, but there has to be something that you can do to help him. There's no cure. But he's patient zero. Whatever we learn from the pathogen will come from the tests we still need to run. Excuse me. This is Mazer. He's stable for the moment.
Yeah.
Jack, I don't know what to say yet.
Tony, an agent almost followed up on Stockwood. Sorry.
Larry debriefed the White House, and we're waiting on the president to decide on a course of action.
Good. Any word on Tony?
Sorry, we don't know anything yet. I need to debrief you on the canisters that you saw. You okay with that?
Yeah.
I read the statement from the Port Authority cop. He said that you risked the mission to save his life. You did the right thing.
Thanks.
That's the lab. It's probably Hodges. We should talk to him. Put it on speaker. Seaton.
Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you.
I was checking on Almeida.
Did Stokes get him to talk?
He's still working on that, sir.
I told him to put Almeida down if he didn't start talking.
I think we should give him a few more minutes, sir.
We're busting our asses to get these weapons ready before the government makes their move. I want all hands on deck.
We'll be there soon, sir.
Say that you are, Greg.
Call FBI. I need to set up the secure landline. Make sure nobody's listening. All right, we'll do it. I never thought Jonas would take this far. I mean, the man's a patriot. Founded Starkwood to protect this country. Yeah, well, why is he attacking it? It's complicated. I don't understand it myself. Should have done more to stop this. I should have called FBI months ago. You're doing the right thing now.
I've pulled together everything we have on Starkwood. Structural specs, aerial maps, topography, company rosters, the whole works.
Upload it onto the interagency service. Let's get everybody on the same page. It's good work, Jennifer. Renee. Heard about Jack. I'm sorry.
I'm still debriefing him, but I brought a full description of the canisters.
All right. Get this out of the field agents. How's he doing?
It's hard to tell. Larry, so many people have died today. We cannot let their deaths be for nothing.
He won't.
Larry? Got Tony Almeida on the phone?
Almeida?
He says he's calling from inside Starkwood.
Put him through. Go ahead, Tony.
Who am I talking to?
It's Larry Moss. What's going on?
I'm on the Starkwood compound. I was being held by a man named Jonas Hodges, but I was released by one of his executives, a man named Greg Seaton. And he wants to cut a deal. He wants immunity.
What's he offering in return?
He knows where the weapons are being held.
All right, Tony, I gotta run this by the president.
Wait, Larry. Do you know what happened to Jack?
He's here. He's in medical.
Was he hit?
No. One of the canisters was breached. He's been infected.
Tony, I gotta call the White House. Stand by. Jenna, set up a secure connection in the conference room with Almeida in the White House for this signature. And get me the president on the phone.
What is this?
Footage recovered from Sangala. It was smuggled out of the remains of a biological weapons lab about 45 minutes ago. It's a confirmation that Juno was experimenting with biological weapons on the local population. These poor people were suffering from the effects of the weaponized prion variant. And that's what we allowed Starkwood to bring into this country.
We didn't allow this.
Starkwood is a monster we created, Olivia. We have been feeding it for years. We gave them military contracts. We relied on their paid mercenaries instead of our own soldiers. Outsourced intelligence gathering operations. My God, we even passed a law so that they could build a military base 13 miles from the nation's capital.
You fought against all that. You've been trying to limit Starkwood's power ever since you took office.
I didn't do enough. Fast enough. And now it may be too late.
Madam President, Tim Woods and Admiral Smith are here to see you.
Send them in.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam President, Larry Moss at FBI is calling in. He says it's urgent.
Put him through.
Agent Moss, the president's here. Go ahead.
Madam President, we've been contacted by someone inside Starkwood. Ma'am, it's Tony Almeida.
Almeida?
He's been working with Jack Bauer to recover these weapons. He was taken captive, but then released by someone on the inside. His name is Greg Seaton. He's part of Jonas Hodge's inner circle. Man, he says he's willing to tell us where the weapons are in exchange for immunity. I've already started mobilizing for a targeted raid. We can catch him by surprise and lock down these weapons, but I'm going to need you to sign an immunity agreement for this man.
How confident are you of Seaton's intel?
We believe it's genuine, ma'am.
Madam President, we may not get a chance like this again.
Admiral Smith?
I concur. But I would suggest we supplement the FBI with a SEAL squad. They're ready to move on my order.
The Attorney General will raise hell about us involving the military in this operation.
And we'll deal with him later. Agent Moss, you have my direct authorization to move on Starkwood. How soon can you be ready?
We've already drafted an executive pardon and set it up via WebEx. You'll be able to give a secure digital signature, and we're good to go.
We have the document set up at your assistant's computer. Agent Moss, the president is prepared to sign.
Go ahead, ma'am.
All right, it's done.
You got the signature?
Yeah, we're good.
When can you be at Starkwood?
We can be there in 10 minutes.
Agent Moss, thank you. And good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam President, we may have just caught a lucky break.
Until this plays out, I want everyone to keep looking for other options.
All right, Mr. Seaton, go ahead.
The weapons are in a warehouse on the northeast quadrant of the compound, 3244.23 north, 11710.42 west.
Mr. Seaton, it would help to have someone on the ground doing recon. Can you get Tony to that warehouse?
I think so.
See if you can get hold of a hand radio. We'll be on 480 kilohertz.
All right, we'll be there.
If we land here, we'll be within 50 yards of the warehouse.
Support teams here and here. Shore us up. Coordinate with the Navy. Get moving. I'll meet you upstairs.
Let's move. You're mobilizing. What's going on?
We got a call from Tony. He's working with an informant inside Starkwood. We got a location on the weapon. We're getting ready to stage a raid on the compound.
I want to go.
I can understand why, but I'm sorry. I can't allow it.
Larry, I can help you with this. I'm the only one who's seen the canisters. I know exactly what we're looking for.
I read your debrief. You gave us all the details we need.
Larry, please. I've earned this.
Jack, I know what you've done today. The sacrifice you've made. Under any other circumstances, I'd want you out there with us. But you're sick. We have no idea when you're going to start showing symptoms. I cannot risk that happening out in the field. I need my best man for this operation. I hope you can understand that.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. I was doing eventually we'd agree on something.
Satan?
Murphy, I need to check the personnel that...
Weapons are inside there.
I mean, not inside. Hodges, munitions team, security, I'm guessing a dozen or more.
Wolves are at the door, Tommy. How much longer?
Still now away from being armed, sir.
We just intercepted a government transmission. FBI's on the way.
Sir, we haven't even run the sequence checks yet.
Let's do it.
What's our ETA? 2 minutes, sir. Tony, it's Larry Moss. Are you in position?
Affirmative. Well, about 50 yards north of the warehouse.
What can you tell me?
We've got 2 entrances, north and south. Heavy steel doors. 2 guards armed with automatic weapons. Steven says there's probably about a dozen inside. I think we have to assume they're armed as well.
All right, we're almost there. I'm gonna need your eyes on the ground in case there's any resistance.
Copy that.
Area 1 to home base. Target has been confirmed. We are go for tax plan Alpha.
Copy that, Area 1. All feeds alive. We're monitoring your approach.
Sir, we're being signaled by Starkwood's air tower. Let me talk to him. You're on. This is Special Agent Larry Moss from FBI. We have an executive order from the President of the United States to search one of your buildings.
FBI. I'll need to get authorization from my superior.
We have sent you a digital copy of the executive order. Check your wireless frequency. That is all the authorization you will need. Make no attempt to interfere or you will be arrested. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Understood, FBI.
Take us in. Area 1 to home base. We're good to go.
Copy that, Area 1. Looks like you have a clean approach. No hostiles in sight.
Steven? I need you to stay behind us. Let's go. Stand down! You were told to stand down! Lower your weapons and get on the ground now! Lock them down! Good luck, sir. Blow it. Blasting! 3, 2, 1! Go! Go! Where are the weapons?
I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Nathan was threatening to kill me, and I told him what he wanted to hear. You lying son of a bitch, you came to me. You know where the weapons. Where the damn weapons? Tell him to take his hands off of me.
Tony. Tony! You need to stand down now.
You're not getting away with this.
Secure him!
He's lying.
Looks that way.
Well, what do you know? Little old Seton bought us some time. On the other side of the compound. We just have to keep them there.
There's nothing here, sir. Renee, the warehouse is empty. Tony's informant sent us to the wrong location. This whole thing was a diversion. They couldn't have gotten out that fast. The weapons are there somewhere.
Larry, the weapons have to be inside of Starkwood. Tell them to keep looking.
Stand by. All right, everyone outside, now. Point search of this entire compound. I want 14 sweeping every structure on this property. Hold your fire! Hold your fire! Hold your fire! Stay in position! Tell Larry to have his men stand down.
Are you kidding me? They just drew on federal forces.
If you don't want to lose your men, you'll get them to stand down now. Now! Hold your fire! That's far enough.
We cooperated with your demand to search this building. Now we're asking you to leave.
There are biological weapons on this facility. We're not going anywhere without them. And tell your men to stand down.
Those charges are absurd. We're not going to let you keep searching. You're on private property. We're prepared to defend it if necessary.
You are threatening federal agents. Stand down, now!
We're protecting our rights against the hostile government that's using false charges to try to shut us down. And we don't want any bloodshed. If you try to advance any farther, you will be fired upon.